So we're back to do the head, and for the head you can choose any colour you like. My little girl, I did a white face. You can do a brown face. I've got this sort of pinky beigey colour for the guy, so he'll have a different colour face. You can do anything you want. And I've done the first row. I've attached my yarn, leaving quite a long tail to sew it up later. And what I'll do now is, before you start your face colour, have a piece of waste yarn quite long, thread it onto a needle, and then just run it through all your stitches on the needle. Don't take your stitches off, and that will be used to pull your neck tight later, so that you don't have to, once it's all done, you don't have to sort of thread your way along your knitting later. You can do either way. You can do whichever way suits you. So I'm just going to thread my needle through all the stitches, and then it'll stay there the same as this waste yarn has stayed here, and that's for me to pull the feet in. But I'd actually like to sew along and just have proper boots, so I'm still not sure what I'm going to exactly do. So this is just going to be pulled through my stitches and be left sitting there. And then I do about 10 rows, 9, 10, 11 rows, whichever will bring you back onto your right side, your knit side. Okay, so I've ended up doing 9 rows for the colour for my face, and I'm happy with that. I think to come back to a knit side, I'd end up with 11 rows, and it might end up with too big a face. I can't remember what I did for this little doll, but anyway, so 9 will do. And you can see I've got my waste yarn in here, and that's where I'll pull up for the neck. There it is, underneath there somewhere, and I'll pull that tight closed when we're sewing it up for the neck. And I don't think I'm going to do here. I haven't decided what colour I'm going to do his hat yet. It could be brown, the same colour as the boots, or I might do a black hat. That could be hard for you to see. I haven't quite decided. But I want to do a brim. I want to have a go at doing a brim on the hat, so it sort of sticks out like what a farmer wears. So instead of doing a little bit for here and then a hat, I'm going to go straight into my hat colour and do the whole thing as a hat. So if you just want a beanie like this in here, you can add your hair and do 1 or 2 rows, whatever suits you, for the guy to, if you're doing a guy, to have hair colour. If you're doing a girl and you don't want her to have a beanie, but you want her to have long hair or plaits, just carry on. If I'd done all of this brown instead of a blue beanie, if I'd done all of this brown, that would be her brown hair. And then you could make yourself some plaits by plaiting some yarn, and you could put them on the sides and just sew them at the top. Or if it was all brown, you might want to do spiky bits coming up for brown hair, or just have it flat but as all brown. Does that make sense? So that's how you do just here at the top. Just don't change colour, and you just decrease the same as you do for the beanie for the hair. And I'll show you the decreasing slowly in another video. I'm going to keep these videos all separate. So there's choices you can make here. You can make a brim, as I'm going to attempt to do, and this will be my first time, so we'll see how it goes. You can have a little bit of hair, you can have a lot of hair, or you can have hair and a beanie. So that's just up to you how you want to do things. And this is just my boots, my trousers, my jersey, and my face so far. So that's it for this little beanie, for this little video, for this little beanie. This snowman, I tried to make a little bit of a brim, so I did some pearls, 2 rows of pearls. I'm not happy with it, but I've looked at other people's pictures and they look the same. But there is a way that I've seen other people do the brim, and it must be this way. Put in your waste yarn, pick up your stitches, and then knit just a couple of extra rows where they stick out a little bit. You could do ribbing or whatever and make it a brim on a beanie. So there's all sorts of different ways you can change them up once you get used to the basic pattern. The basic pattern's all the same. And then you just try different things. And I definitely think she needs a skirt. I'll leave her like this, and I make another girl one, and I'll do a separate video on how to attach the skirt. You could certainly just do your 32 stitches and sew, make a piece of knitting as a skirt and then just sew it on at the top. I've heard people do that, but I'd like to have a go at putting the waste yarn and picking up the stitches. And I'd like to make a Paddington bear with a long coat, but separated. 2 pieces of the long coat coming down over his legs. So there's all sorts of ways that you can change this up. So that's it for this little short video. And then I will come back after I've decided on the colour of his hat, and I'll do a separate video and we'll have a go at making a brim. How's that?